Welcome to the regularly scheduled Monday morning stream. Um, just as a little note, I believe I'm going to be on vacation on Wednesday, so I'll put the Twitch channel on vacation mode after posting this stream, and I think rejoin you on Friday. If not, at the latest, it'll be on uh, Monday of next week. Um, but I may sprinkle in here and there some surprise streams. So if you are one of my half a dozen viewers, I hope that you can get your fix or whatever you want out of watching my videos. Um, this morning I'm going to play Offworld Trading Company. I have bought DLC for this, so there is some DLC involved, um, but it's not modded, and it's sort of normal vanilla play style. Um, I'm gonna try to reset my campaign progress and see if I can start from scratch. But I'm not exactly sure how successful I'll be with that, so we'll learn together. Uh, anyway, without further ado, let's get going. Oh, one other thing is I wanted to say that the publisher for this game is Stardock. Stardock has a sort of long and storied history of being in the game publishing market. They are well known for a game series called Galactic Civilizations, which was maybe not one of the most epic 4X strategy games really ever, but they've always had a strong presence, and I've certainly played a number of their games. I only found out recently that the CEO of Stardock has some problems. It's hard to say exactly what the internet's been scrubbed pretty thoroughly of what the specific problems are. But it sounds like he's rubbed a few people the wrong way and expressed some strong personal opinions in reaction to business events, I guess. Again, it's super vague right now. I think we're a few years on from whatever his problems were, but just so you know, Stardock is considered by some to be a sort of a missing stair in the gaming um, social justice world. So, Offworld Trading Company is not developed by Stardock. They just went through Stardock for the publishing. So, I guess you need to make your own judgments. I like it because it is a sort of a spiritual successor to an old video game that I used to play. I think on my Commodore 64, I'm not sure, called Mule, Mule, and I can't remember what it stands for. But in Mule, you had multifunctional robots that you used to um, colonize and mine a world, and a lot of the game was about the sort of marketplace, which is why you see these sorts of uh, sort of stock trading graphs scrolling by in the animation of the title screen. You can automate a lot of it, which I'll show you how to do, but it can be interesting to sort of play with the real-time market as the game progresses. Okay, so let's go here. I do have a campaign in progress, but we'll just start a new one and it will probably warn me. So I think without DLC you can only do Mars, and with DLC you can do IO. I've pretty much only ever played on Mars, so let's just keep playing on Mars. Um, and this screen, you can see that I have unlocked some stuff. So the question is whether I don't think I can actually reset it in this screen. Let me go back and see if I can reset in options. I think I'd probably have to go and edit something, some file to reset, and I don't want to do hacking right now. Not that I'm against hacking, but it's time wasting, and I don't want to do that time wasting on the stream. All right, so I'll just go with what I have. Okay, single player. Um, you know what? Maybe I'll just do a skirmish. Um, instead. Yeah, let's do a skirmish. Okay, so I had been playing low skill. Let's turn it up a little bit. Um, yeah, plays that manager. And this one is, yeah, okay, let's do manager and see how that goes for us. Standard rules, AI players, let's do 3 AI players. Um, and I like huge. Huge gives me some room. Okay. So the first stage of the game is exploration, and it's remote. You just click and scan the planet with this tool here that's represented by an eyeball icon, and you can see that it's like highlighting what I'll scan if I click. So I'm going to click. So now you can see that, for instance, this hex that I have highlighted in red is showing a high level of iron available on that hex. This one, for instance, I'm having trouble. We'll look at this one instead. This one that I've highlighted in red is showing a low level, but still a presence of aluminum ore. So I'm going to keep exploring. The thing that continuing to scan costs you is startup time, being earliest to market, essentially, being earliest to be able to build miners. But it also gives you a good sense of what's on the map. So I usually tend to scan a lot before I decide to settle down. The other thing that's going on as I scan is that the statistics on the left side of the screen are getting populated with the results of the scan. So you can see that the information that I have sort of statistically about what is going on and what kinds of resources are available and to what degree on the map is that knowledge is also increasing. Water is extremely crucial. Not necessarily that you have a lot of water, although I do tend to play water centric, but that there at least be a lot of water available to the colony. Because it's a market simulation, if the colony as a whole does not have a lot of water, then water starts costing a lot of money or credits. And when water starts costing a lot of money or credits, you have fewer. amounts of cash to spend on other efforts. The same with pretty much all of the resources, but water, food, oxygen, and fuel and power are all essential to doing anything on the colonies, whereas the other resources, aluminum, iron, steel, carbon, silicon, chemicals from chemical plants, glass, and electronics, are all sort of, they're not really optional, but they are um, more advanced technologies that you don't necessarily have to develop. Um, it just sort of depends on what your plans are. Although, in general, having more of everything is better than having less of everything. Um, Specialization, however, can be important. And the other thing I wanted to show you is at this point, two AI players have put down basically the foundations of their bases. So Silas put down the foundation of their blue base, and they also put down a couple of steel mills. And Rana placed a base and nothing else quite yet. But this is happening uh, sort of in between ticks as the world unpauses for me to scan it. And theoretically, the AI players are also scanning, but we don't get that information. So that's how that goes. The world border is, you can see this sort of grid-like thing. Um, it's, more terrain, but you can't explore it or colonize it. You also can't scan without some adjacent scanning. So this is actually the limit of my scanning to the west right now. But if I scan, then I can see all the way out to here. I don't have to scan contiguously, um, but I do at least have to sort of stretch out the scanning. And then the other AI player also set down a base. It's a nomadic base, and it's right here. And they're next to carbon and silicon. I'm going to wait because I think I am going to settle down near water. But I also want to see if there's like, is there an opportunity to set down right next to water, but near other kinds of mineral resources? Um, Here's where Silas set down, and that's kind of tempting because it's close to a big thing of uh, aluminum, and he's already claimed um, this aluminum spot. Um, there's also, let's see what this is, a bunch of geothermal here, which is power, which could be very useful, which is why I'm sure this base came down here. Um, I don't know. I think without further scanning, I think I may just set down maybe right next to Silas, which is something I don't usually do, but I think it might be worth it. I don't I don't remember any really big deposits of water otherwise. Do a little bit more scanning. A big deposit of iron. There is a little here, but it's not really a big enough place to put a base down. All right, let me choose the kind. So there's robotic spaces. Um, I think this is scavenger. That's um, I can't remember what type these are. No, this is scavenger, I believe. Um, oh, I'm very confused. I'm going to do this kind of base, I think. Yeah, this is the research base. And I do like patents. So I will use this base and I will put it. Oh, can I put it right next? I can't really put it right next to. Um, I guess I can't put it there. That's frustrating. I could put it here. No, I put it here. Yeah, I'll put it there. Okay. Now the game on pauses. So I'm going to pause it again with the space bar. So I've placed my base, and now I need to place some essential resource gatherers. So I've got 3 claims to start with. I can get more by upgrading the base, and I can see if I hover over the base, I need 3.5K in cash to upgrade the base. And when I upgrade the base, I'll get 4 new claims, 4 new places that I can build stuff. So with the 3 that I have, excuse me, I am going to place a wind turbine, which is better the lighter the highlighted space is. So this one is generates 1 power. Up here it generates, oh, I guess 1 is the highest I'm going to get on this map. Yeah. So if that's the case, I'm going to put it right next to my base in hopes of hooking it up directly to the base, which will give me an advantage later. And then I'm going to put a water drill here and start growing. Ooh, that's tempting. So I can do 0.5 food there. This is 0.5. I don't know if I feel like doing that. Oh, I could put here though. Um, no, I should keep that for water for later. So I'm actually going to put the food right next to me. And in fact, I'll use it to connect the wind turbine. All right, so I've used up all my claims. Um, because I know that I'm generating water, food, and fuel, you can see that for the fuel, you're set by default to auto sell excess power. But I actually want to set this to auto sell excess water and excess food. And that will contribute to my money. And the other thing that I want to do is actually automatically set it to pay off my debt. My debt will accrue if, for instance, I need energy and I'm not generating it myself, then I'll automatically buy it from the colony at whatever the market rate is. So I have my cash reserves set to automatically try to pay down my debt. You can actually operate for at least a short period of time in debt, but it's discouraged. And I think part of the reason it's discouraged is that it will eventually come back to bite you, either in the form of interest payments overcoming you, or I think if your debt goes sufficiently high, it will shut you down or affect you with other penalties. Anyway, I'm going to unpause and see how things build and see how that affects my production. All right, so I'm generating zero point 0.7 power sort of profit uh, after using the energy that my buildings and base are using. I'm generating 1 unit of water and zero point 0.5 units of food. My some of my opponents have already upgraded their HQs, so I'm actually inclined to save up to do that myself so I can get more claims and build more buildings. If I hover over the upgrade, it looks like I need to accumulate 7.5K of cash in order to do that. So I'm just going to wait it out, even though it seems like everybody's a little bit ahead of me. Okay, so I upgraded my HQ. I got 4 claims. Now, the immediate problem is that I have a shortfall in fuel, and the fuel is what powers the transports that are going to my uh, remote um, resource gatherers. And I think I have, did I have one out here? I can't remember now. um, I think I did. I have an iron mine somewhere. Where did I put that? Yes. Um, that's not mine. I'm just clicking on the resource icon to hop around to the different iron mines. Maybe I don't have an iron mine. No, I think I just have water right now, don't I? Yeah, it's the water that my transport is going to. It's this one. Oop, right here. Um, so with my 4 new claims, I think what I will do is, see, I need to wait in order to build more or any electrolysis reactors um, until I accumulate more cash. But I think that's a high priority for me. And then I want to bolster my energy. Um, I would like to use a geothermal plant. They are expensive, but they're also always on, whereas wind turbines and solar panels only have a limited output. And I'm sorry, but I need to take a break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so the game is paused, and I'm trying to decide what to do with my four claims. So my two priorities are electrolysis reactors and a geothermal plant. So I want to see if I can snag this geothermal event. So that means a little bit more waiting for the cash reserves to pile up. And my AI opponents are upgrading their um, bases more. So it's sort of hard to tolerate it happening. All right, so my reactors have enabled, so I'm going to build one. Uh, I will build closer to my base. Okay, and we'll let the cache build up again. And I want to actually build another electrolysis reactor as soon as I can. I would sort of like to take advantage of that land, but I think I'm going to ignore that auction right now. So the auction pauses the game and the bidding um, happens, and you can either participate in it if you want, or you can ignore it. You can even close it if you want to, and I'm just going to leave it open because it should be over in a few more seconds. And you can't do anything anyway because the game pauses while the auction goes on. Okay, so I built the first electrolysis reactor. That's good. Adjacent machines of the same type generally give you bonuses. It's not always the case, but it is often the case depending on various settings. All right, so I'm in the positives, sort of barely for oxygen, but in the positives anyway for most of my key resources. I'm also a little behind on upgrading the HQ, but I really want to get this geothermal vent if I can. You can see the power costs are pretty high. So being able to reliably generate my own power will help reduce my overall costs. I also want another electrolysis plant, and actually, given the prices, I think I will get it. You can see on the upper right the relative stock prices. Mine are relatively low because my headquarters is not upgraded. Um, but I hope to fix that soon by building some momentum here with respect to my savings. Looks like somebody has sabotaged not only my own production rate, but everyone else's too. So it's going to slow me down. Nanotechnology is a bonus for recycling and scrapping buildings, which I generally don't ever do, so I generally don't get involved in that patent. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to win this game. Um, I tend to win campaigns, but skirmishes are a little bit more difficult. So we'll see how it goes. Oop, it feels like my computer is crashing. My computer has crashed, and I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm likely to lose the stream in a moment as